Today we join the rest of the world in the first observation of Sustainable Gastronomy Day. It recognizes gastronomy as a cultural expression and one that has a role in achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Whether it is through promoting our culture, tourism, or agricultural prowess, here in Jamaica, government is serious about incorporating gastronomy into the economic fabric of our nation. You'll get a glimpse of that commitment during today's program, so stay with us.
Cancer, stress, high blood pressure. Guard yourself against these potentially deadly conditions by eating healthy. Give your body long life with foods such as low-fat milk, dried and fresh peas and beans, unsalted nuts and seeds, fresh vegetables, fruits and coconut water, and eliminate processed seasonings such as seasoning salt, soy sauces, and ketchup. When it comes to meats, remember to remove the skin to reduce the intake of fats and oils. Meats should also be baked, steamed, grilled, or roasted. Fish is also a preferred protein option. To eat healthy, fill your body with a variety of foods from all the food groups. And remember, eat at a slow pace and in small bites to help aid digestion. This helps to maintain a healthy, balanced, and nutritious diet, strengthening your body to ward off illness and prolong life.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, June 18. Several business leads have been generated from the third staging of the Jamaica Investment Forum. Over 200 foreign investors attended the event in Montego Bay last week. It was hosted by JAMPRO and featured investors in the areas of energy, logistics, business process outsourcing, sports, and automobile manufacturing. Prime Minister Andrew Holness urged the business people to capitalize on Jamaica's strong fiscal environment, saying it would facilitate long-term stability and certainty for their investments.
You are coming into an economy that's, yes, relatively small, but has tremendous potential for expansion. So if you get in now, imagine what the value of your investment stake will be 5, 10, 15 years' time. Pair that with the commitment of government to good policy and good politics. Jamaica is the right business proposition for you.
The last two stagings of the Jamaica Investment Forum generated over $300 million in business for the country. The Agriculture Ministry has started a drive to get idle farmlands under production. Persons interested in agriculture are being asked to apply for land leases now.
I want to invite people who are looking for arable land to get into serious production. You send in your application to me right away. Let me forward it to the Sugar Company Holdings of Jamaica.
The Agriculture Minister's announcement follows a recent commitment to eliminate the number of idle lands across the country, starting with a rationalization study of all lands owned by the Sugar Holdings Company of Jamaica and the National Land Agency. Minister Shaw was speaking at Friday's launch of the 66th Denby Agricultural Show. The annual event is scheduled for August 4 to 6 at the Denby Showgrounds in Maypen, Clarendon. This year's show will feature a number of new elements, including a back-to-school fair and a farmer's 5K walk-run. The Industry Ministry has launched a National MSME Entrepreneurship Policy Implementation Committee, PIC. The committee, launched on June 14, will be responsible for the oversight and monitoring of the MSME and entrepreneurship policy that is being tabled as a white paper in Parliament. The committee is being formed from a wide range of stakeholders, which were previously constituted as the MSME Thematic Working Group on June 23, 2017. The PIC will meet on a quarterly basis and receive updates on activities being pursued in the MSME sector. The Public Procurement Amendment Act 2018 will now go to the House of Representatives after being passed in the Senate with 3 amendments on Friday. The bill seeks to regulate the procurement of goods, works, and services by entities of government. The amendments will enable a modern procurement system with clear guidelines to ensure equity, transparency, and efficiency.
I want to say that arrangements are being put in place for the establishment of the Public Procurement Commission, the Office of Public Procurement, and the restructuring of specialist procurement units. There will be revised standard bidding documents. These are also almost complete. There will be training, and there is training and onboarding of procurement entities onto the electronic procurement platform, which will allow, again, for greater access.
Minister Johnson Smith says the staff of 89 entities have been trained to use the electronic procurement system, of which 29 are now using the platform to execute contracts. The Ministry of Education is partnering with the University of the West Indies to offer 200 scholarships to educators without first degrees and high school graduates seeking to enter the teaching profession. Lecturer at the UWI School of Education, Dr. Caenwood Thompson, says the scholarships will cover the tuition cost for teachers in a number of subject areas under the Bachelor's in Education program.
The Ministry of Education is paying the tuition for these students. This program allows teachers in 4 subject areas: math, sciences, language, and geography, to upgrade their competences. So teachers who are teaching in these areas but do not currently have a degree are being given the opportunity to enter this university and complete and acquire this degree.
Dr. Thompson was speaking at a recent JIS think tank. He is encouraging school principals to support teachers who want to participate in the program. And finally, Jamaica has been elected to serve as a member of the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations. The term of appointment is for 2019 to the year 2021, and Jamaica joins Brazil and Paraguay as Latin American and Caribbean countries on the council. The Economic and Social Council is one of the 6 organs of the United Nations and is primarily responsible for advancing the 3 dimensions of sustainable development: economic, social, and environmental. Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith says the appointment allows the country to play a more active role in assisting UN member states achieve sustainable social and economic development, climate change protection, disaster risk reduction, and environmental security. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Taino, African, Spanish, English, Chinese, and Indian cuisine all influence Jamaica's gastronomy. Take a look.
It's a melting pot of cultures, cooking techniques, ingredients, flavors, and spices from all who've had a hand in the making of the nation. Taino, Spanish, British, African, Chinese, Indian, and others, shaping a national culinary palette that's more than 50 years in the making. Jamaica's cuisine has come a far way. The island now boasts dozens of fast food chains, oriental restaurants, all-natural eateries, and indigenous food shops that serve a buffet of dishes, many of which were not celebrated fair just 50 years ago when Jamaica was a newly independent nation. Credit must go to government bodies like the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, which has been promoting the consumption of authentic Jamaican foods since its culinary competition in hotels was introduced in 1965.
When we roast the yam, when we roast the yam.
Do you like roast yam? You're not alone. Many Jamaicans have acquired a taste for this particular dish, and they didn't have to look far for its creation. Roasting is a centuries-old cooking style that Jamaicans owe to the Taino peoples that once occupied this land. Just 50 years ago, it was still a time-consuming, more labor-intensive practice of roasting ground provisions and meats in the earth.
They even roast the fish in the earth, and then they scrape it off.
Now, Jamaicans from all walks of life are roasting, over grills, on meat sheets, in less time, but with as much flavor as their ancestors. Since the arrival of Christopher Columbus in the 15th century, Spanish flavors have been spicing up Jamaican pots on a regular basis. One particular cooking style and its most popular creation has made a big impression.
We in Spain, we fry a lot. There is definitely the one dish that has a clear connection with Spain, which is the escovitch.
Empanada to the Spanish, patty to Jamaicans. Since the late 1970s to early 1980s, this meat-filled dough dish has been another favorite.
The concept is very much the same. The difference would be, and there is again a mixture of other cultures. In this regard, I guess the British and the Indians, the filling.
As the local cattle industry beefed up its output in the 1960s, Jamaicans wholeheartedly reclaimed one of their favorite pre-independence imports. Now on a Saturday, there is hardly a household that is not cooking either the popular beef soup or one of its other variations. The British like to boil, and it's from them that we've adopted this cooking method to serve up a wide array of dishes that are uniquely Jamaican. Hot as it is, Jamaicans love their teas, and while traditional English flavors were the popular choices for about the first 2 decades of independence, industrious Jamaicans have more recently been bagging indigenous and African-inspired flavors. It could have been the love for teas by the English that prompted then-Governor Sir Nicholas Laws to plant coffee seedlings in the island back in the 1700s. From the first plant in Temple Hall, St. Andrew, the Blue Mountain coffee is now a global brand. With about 90% of the Jamaican population claiming African heritage, it's easy to see why the continent gets credit for most of what we eat. But there was a time when claiming that particular heritage was not for popular consumption.
You wouldn't find bami being sold in the supermarket in the 60s or late 70s.
Green bananas were a no-no if you're sort of, you know, it was a very peasant thing and you couldn't say that you're eating green bananas.
No more. Today, Jamaicans of all ethnicities delight in their prickled or corn meats, mackerel rundown, and yes, the many faces of bami and banana, green, ripe, boiled, fried, however you want it. What would the Jamaican diet look like without the maroons?
They would catch the wild hog. They would prepare that wild hog, and they would dig a hole, and they put the fire in the earth in the hole, and they would set up a wooden grill over that hole and anchor these sticks with stones and so on. And then they would have the pig on that pimento, green pimento wood that is anchored over that hole, and that was how they would roast the pig. After they season it, of course, with bird pepper and pepper elder.
And from the hole emerged the most popular maroon gift to the dinner plate, jerk.
In the 1980s, you could only get jerk pork in Portland. Only at the Port Antonio market on a Saturday when the maroons used to go there to sell it. And then afterwards, I think one of the maroons was started the stand at Boston.
Giving us the widely popular Boston jerk pork and its many challengers from all across the island.
The truth is, over the last 50 years, we have had a major integration of Indian culinary arts into Jamaican art.
The most popular integration is not a specific dish, it's a spice. While Jamaicans tend to rub it on the meat and the Indians are more likely to put it in hot oil, everyone agrees curry is a much appreciated import from the Asian continent.
Now in Jamaica, we are very adventurous. We like to go beyond what we are accustomed to. So we move from curry goat to curry chicken, and all sorts of things are being curried too.
The Jamaicans have come to embrace the Chinese cuisine because it's good.
But you know Jamaicans, sometimes we cook the Chinese thing at home with the soya sauce, but we have to throw a little jerk seasoning in it and what have you, because it's a combination of flavors.
When Rasta say ital food and no deaders and no flesh and face and bone and people used to look at it with scorn and say, breeze that go blow your way, and you know, up to now, no breeze not blow your way. You see, if you have the proper combination of seasoning in your pot and the proper timing, you don't need to use the salt and the other little artificial thing.
Many Jamaicans still cook with salt, and meats remain a constant, but the healthy lifestyle pushed decades ago by the Rastafarian community is now a well-accepted and celebrated way to live. No Jamaican cookbook could be complete without this chapter. Whether it stems from a fruit or it's brewed in a lab, Jamaicans love to imbibe.
So ginger beer, to lemonade, and then we have sorrel. And we have been making a lot of drinks with our fruits, like soursop punch, and we make breadfruit punch and sorrel, and at Christmas time there's egg punch.
Now that is the perfect cap on a multi-ethnic menu, fit for the most Irie people in the world.
What about my G? Nothing about my general, no school, no work, no nothing. Yeah. Check this out. Maybe it can help you. There's some me.
Are you between 18 and 24? Have you dropped out of school to look for work? Improve your chances by joining the National Service Corps. We will get you trained and certified and give you the start you need. This program has been designed to equip you with the core skills and support to succeed in the world of work. Grab your opportunity now. Apply for the National Service Corps program. Get trained, get certified, get ready for work. For more information, contact a Heart Trust NTA or National Youth Service Office.
On May 29, 2017, Devon House was launched as the island's first gastronomy center. Let's take a look at some of the plans for the center.
This evening we launch the first of hopefully a number of gastronomy centers across destination Jamaica. We selected Devon House to be the start not only because it is unique in its own offerings, we also selected Devon House because it's in the center of commerce and entertainment and culture in the Caribbean, the city of Kingston.
Gastronomy is one of the fastest growing reasons for people to travel. The World Tourism Organization estimates that the gastronomy market is approximately $150 billion. Boasting world-renowned food and beverage delights such as ackee and saltfish, jerk pork, coffee, and rum, Jamaica is being marketed as a food destination. The Tourism Ministry is serving a platter of treats to foodies. Serving the helpings are gastronomy centers of Jamaica, stops for guests to cook, dine, and be educated on Jamaican food.
We're going to be establishing here at Devon House the first gastronomy club, and we will be building a special kitchen so that dream of putting the first standalone kitchen without a chef, without a cook, without anyone except those who will see to its campness throughout the period. And we will be marketing that kitchen as a location for visitors from across the world to come to Devon House and cook. So you will bring your families on a Sunday afternoon, and we'll be establishing a farmer's market just next door to it. The final thing that we want to do here at Devon House in advancing this gastronomy prototype is to establish a food shop. You move from shop to shop and you just nibble. You just pick and eat different types of cuisine. So you perhaps start with a little rundown. The next shop is jerk chicken. The next shop is jerk pork. The next shop is ackee and saltfish.
It seems a perfect combo. Devon House, built by Jamaica's first black millionaire in the 1800s, has transcended into a haven for ice cream lovers and socialites. Already on site, some 14 eateries featuring local and international cuisine.
I think it's an excellent idea. I think the time has come for that. We serve both Jamaican food, international food, and we also have an Italian pizzeria.
Voila. What we do is a thin crust pizza with fresh dough, daily prepared. And we combine it with the Jamaican flavors. So like the Jamaican pizza is ackee and callaloo, or jerk pork, jerk chicken. We also do Hawaiian, pepperoni. So we try to please all kind of buds.
It's a fabulous idea. One, because Devon House has such rich history. And I believe that it's in line with our culture. It's just whatever it is that comes and intertwines together as one. You know, food, culture, music is a lifestyle.
I know it's going to be much more exciting. I believe what the Ministry of Tourism have done so far in terms of the improvement on the property is just amazing, and I just know it's going to get better as it goes along. The other retail shops that are here is also a wonderful combination. The atmosphere is great. We love it for Rev Jewelry and Accessories because it lends to the energy and the synergy of what we have to offer. So I'm very happy about this move.
It's an absolutely amazing idea. If we can bring gastronomy and market that as a tourism destination, or as a tourist choice rather, that would be amazing.
The thought of persons in Jamaica and all that has always been, why is our food not more out there, Why isn't that more people coming just for the food? So, with the minister's vision, it was really about putting that plan into reality.
So happy that the minister has been able to fuse food across the world, Jamaican with Chinese, Jamaican with Italian, Jamaican with Indian, Jamaican with French. Any cuisine across the world, we can fuse it with some of our jerk seasoning or some things that are synonymous to Jamaica.
We are particularly happy at this initiative by our minister. The more people that utilize Devon House to come there for different experiences, it means that Devon House will be more self-sufficient in generating funds for the upkeep and maintenance of this heritage site.
When you create a gastronomy center, create an opportunity for not just locals. The locals already understand Devon House, but the tourists that may come, it may attract visitors from the cruise operators, because it's a big deal. And I think it's something that we need to push and drive, because the history and culture of Devon House actually fits very well with the new model, the new proposed model.
It's always beautiful in Jamaica. Everything usually be green and pretty. We have beautiful water. Temperature that is normal temperature. The water never cold. We've been into business for about 13 years. JUSC-COOL, just cool. It's spelled with 3 zeros. We make 3 different types of pudding. We make potato, we make cornmeal, and we make toto. This is the cornmeal, okay? That's actually almost the last process. What he's gonna do now, he's gonna put a gel on top. Within no time, we have to take it off because the gel give it a nice taste. We have people like Shelley and Fraser came here. We have, you could name the biggest artists, Shabba Ranks, name them all. Being the Man, they all come here and buy their pudding. This is what we grew up on. Now, when the people come to Jamaica, everybody, as soon as they land off the plane, this is where they come. They want to taste this pudding because it brings them back to the old days. Long time days when they was kids growing up and they used to sit on the fire and watch their mama, their grandmother bake the pudding. We try not to change off our roots, we try to keep it that way. And not only that, we have a lot of love because we're all about love.
Jamaica has been incorporating technological tools such as drones to ensure the sustainable development of the island's agriculture sector. But even as drones are utilized, safety is of utmost importance.
Drones, more formally known as unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, or unmanned aircrafts, are used by many persons for various purposes. In recent years, there has been an increase in drone ownership and use in Jamaica, prompting strict regulations by the authorities. Commercial drone users are required to get a special aerial work permit from the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, JCAA, each time a drone or other unmanned power-driven aircraft that flies without a human operator on board is to be used. This is important in order to address issues of aviation safety and security, as well as national security and privacy. Operators of drones and other unmanned aerial power-driven aircrafts must apply in writing to the JCAA, and the applicant must provide all details of the intended flight. The Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority mandates that drone users must not fly these devices at a height exceeding 400 feet or 122 meters above ground level. Also, recreational users must not go beyond the maximum range of 1,640 feet or 500 meters, or within 500 feet or 152 meters of an organized open-air assembly of people. Nor should these drones or UAVs be flown over or within 165 feet or 50 meters of any person. The guidelines also demand that persons not operate these aerial devices over a private or public property or dwelling without prior permission. Unmanned aerial devices should also not be operated at nights or during low visibility conditions. Persons are not to use drones or unmanned aerial vehicles to drop or discharge any item to the ground. The Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority's guidelines stipulate restricted and prohibited airspace where drones and other UAVs are either restricted or must not fly. In the restricted zones, drones are not allowed to take off unless a permit is obtained from the JCAA. Prohibited airspaces are designated where no flights by these devices are allowed. Some of the prohibited areas include Jamaica House, King's House, the Police Commissioner's Office, Jamaica Defence Force Up Park Camp, and the Petrojam Refinery. Restricted zones include flight training areas assigned to flight schools and the JDF Air Wing, Newcastle Training Base, and other JDF facilities across the island. There is a 5-kilometer or 3.1-mile radii no-fly zone for drones around aerodromes, as well as Norman Manley Sangsters and Ian Fleming International Airports. The policy in Jamaica is similar to industry practices in North America and the United Kingdom, where permission from the managers of the aerodromes and restricted or prohibited airspaces are sought prior to the issuance of a permit. So, for drone operation at or near aerodromes, communication is made with air traffic control, which will dictate flight times, which is included in the permit to the drone operator. All drone flights in prohibited and restricted airspaces will require a notice to airmen or NOTAM. The NOTAM is prepared by the JCAA and issued to the aviation industry in advance of the date the drone will operate, that is, 3 to 4 days lead time. The Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority demands that UAV users cease operation of these devices once a safety hazard is apparent and should not resume operation until the risk is resolved. All incidents that occur while using these aerial devices must be reported to the authority in order for the cause to be determined and for corrective measures to be implemented. The JCAA inspectors and law enforcement officers have the authority to intervene at any time. So, operators of drones and other unmanned aerial power-driven devices are encouraged to heed the regulations or face the penalty if the matter is brought before the court.
And that's how we close out today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Missed aspects of today's program? Watch it in full on jis.gov.jm or youtube.com/watchjis. You may also keep up to date with all the positive happenings coming out of Jamaica by joining us on all the major social media platforms. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.